tell you a bit about it. So in 2018, just a bit more than 1 year after Kleros started, we launched this initiative called the Kleros Fellowship of Justice in order to create a community of researchers about decentralized justice in different topics, including computer science, mathematics, economics, law, all of these cross-discipline topics that are covered by Kleros. So we wanted to start making a community. So just 1 year after the project started, we already were launching this initiative. And this is a 6-month remote program that anyone can join. You have over the program monthly progress meetings where you share what you're doing, and then in these meetings you get mentorship from team members. We always open up our very busy schedules for trying to help our participants in the program do their research. I mean, you can have individual calls with me, you can have individual calls with William, or with any team member that you want to have a feedback from or guidance. You can just ask that and we will make this happen for you. And then the research outcome will be shared in our social, so everyone will be able to read it, okay? So, and then you will get a $1,000 PNK reward. So it's a bit of a compensation for your time and effort. I mean, don't think this is a way to farm some like easy airdrop. I mean, we will make you work a lot. Because some people think, oh yeah, this is a easy $1,000. No, you have to do like a very important research. You will get a lot of feedback. You will get, if you are seeing this from the point of view of a journey of personal improvement and because you want to be part of the community, that's great. If you see this as a way to farm some easy money, I can promise you it's not going to work for you. I mean, then you will drop out. So, but more important than this reward, you will earn a certificate that will prove to everyone in the community that you are one of the graduates of the program, and you will have this recognition within all of the citizens of the Kleros Republic. So you become part of the aristocracy of Kleros if you get to finish the program. Okay. So since 2018, we ran already 8 rounds or 8 batches of the fellowship. These are some of the participants. Let me just give you some examples of types of research that were done in the context of the fellowship. So some of the fellows did research about empirical and economic topics. For example, Paul Ponick, is a professor from the US, and he studied the biases in the juror decisions. Alessia did research about Kleros and AI. In particular, she also did a PhD at the Pompeu Fabra University in Spain, in Barcelona, about Kleros, and also she did a fellowship. So she's one of the most knowledgeable people about Kleros in the world. Then Luis, who is an arbitration lawyer from Stanford, he was doing his PhD in law at Stanford, and he did a research for the fellowship about law and economics with lots of interviews, lots of statistical analysis of the community, of the staking ratio. So this is a really good also piece of research, and it was also so good that it got to be published in the Ohio State Journal of Dispute Resolution, which is a very important journal. So if you take the chance to do like a very good research for the fellowship, you can get published at a really good place. So this was one of the successful cases of the fellowship. Other participants were more into industry and use case research. So, for example, Paolo Archila, a lawyer from Guatemala, did research about the use of Kleros for IP disputes. And then another of our fellows who did this is Parul Anand from India, who also did IP, but in the context of generative AI. So, there is this dispute between the New York Times and OpenAI about the use of articles and content from the New York Times to train algorithms. Sometimes, some of that training data gets into the answers done by the generative model. So this is triggering lots of disputes concerning IP breach, and this is the topic that Parul studied. Then other fellows were doing, for example, how to use Kleros in the context of the design movement, how to use this in order to decide which papers should be accepted into a decentralized journal, how you can use decentralized mechanisms, including Kleros curation for this type of decisions. Ines, who is from Portugal, she did research about real-world assets, and she's actually working on this. Okay. And also, again, this one is from the last fellowship about the use of Kleros for solving disputes in the context of real estate markets and disputes happening, construction types of disputes. So this is another one. Another category of fellows is those who come from the field of law and they want to do research about Kleros as an arbitration tool, and in particular how it fits into traditional frameworks for arbitration, like the New York Convention. We have like 5 or 6 of this type of research. The first one doing this was Dimitri, a lawyer from Russia. Then Jake Lauter, who is an Australian working in a very important arbitration firm from Sweden. He also did a paper about this. And then Diana, a lawyer from Mexico, she studied this topic from a more skeptical perspective of Kleros not complying with arbitration, framework. But we are not here just to sell you Kleros. We are here to find the truth. So if you have some paper which could be critical about Kleros, it's welcome to. Okay, and then if we know why it's critical, then we can implement different measures to correct what make Kleros more likely to be adopted. Then another bunch of participants were more in the how Kleros can become legal in the context of national regulation about mediation or dispute resolution in general. We had people like Faye doing this in Nigeria. Clara Lin did this in the context of Chinese regulation. This is a team of brother and sister from Dominican Republic that did a research, a very, very thorough piece of research about how and in which context Kleros can become binding under Dominican Republic legislation. And maybe the most famous case of research done in the context of the fellowship was done by Mauricio Virués from Mexico, who did an experiment as part of his fellowship research, which was about understanding how Kleros could become binding under Mexican law. And this is what he did. So he is an arbitration lawyer from Jalisco, one of the states in Mexico, and he put into a leasing contract arbitration clause where Kleros was designated as the arbitrator in case there was a dispute happening. And so this was the contract. This is the actual clause of arbitration that he designed for this experiment. And then a dispute started in this contract because the landlord accused the tenant of not paying the rent on time. Then this case was sent to Kleros. Kleros made a decision with 3 jurors, and here you can see what are the justifications that jurors did about this case. So everything is public, and you can actually read this in the report that Mauricio wrote for the fellowship. And jurors said that the landlord was right about the case. So this was presented into a national courthouse from Jalisco, and the judge, saw that there was a clause for arbitration. There was a dispute resolution process that followed the provisions from the clause, and so he recognized the validity of this decision, and then he ordered the eviction to be done in 5 days. This is a report, you can read it, it's public, it's English and in Spanish if you want it, and then lots of papers from different countries and different topics actually have cited this very famous report that was done in the context of a fellowship. So if you do a really good work in this context, you can become like a widely referenced author. You can just, don't take my word for it, verify. I mean, look, Mauricio Virués, Google Scholar, and you will see lots of very good references, including in Wolters Kluwer and, Thomson Reuters and many other places, okay? So now we are starting the 9th batch of the fellowship, and as every time we start a new batch, we mention a bunch of hot topics that we want people to do research on. So these are some of them, of those that we want to target this time. So gaming and esports is an important one. How can you use Kleros for solving disputes in the context of, cheating in esports tournament? How to use Kleros in the context of the DCOM movement. So decentralized commerce is a category that the Ethereum Foundation is pushing a lot now in the context of trying to bring Ethereum to more real-world use cases. In the case, for example, freelancing, e-commerce. So this is everything that goes into this category. So this is what we were targeting at Kleros as early as 2017. Alice and Bob, freelancing contracts. So now this is coming back, and then if you want to do research about this, this is one of the top topics for this batch. IP, I already mentioned this a bit, so I'm not going to go into this. We have an app that we developed internally called Mirrorfall that is using AI agents to try to solve disputes, and then it can be escalated to Kleros in case there is an appeal. Then all of the enterprise use cases, what we are doing in Lemon, what we are doing in Mendoza, how can we expand these types of use cases. Then everything related to Kleros as a Supreme Court for DAOs or dispute resolution in the context of DAOs, all of which goes into governance topics. As mentioned before, how can Kleros be done, legal in the context of existing legal frameworks? We already mentioned some things that happened in the past few years. Is the Mexican Congress passing a law for dispute resolution and innovation, mentioning decentralized justice as legally binding in Mexico. There is a new change done in the context of the Argentinian Consumer Defense Agency that potentially could have some courts within Kleros reach decisions that could be seen as binding under Argentine law. And there are other countries that are also experimenting with this. If you want to research this in your country, how could Kleros be made binding? This is the right topic for you. This is similar to the previous one. Then all of the more use cases related to how Kleros can be used to moderate content on social networks, how it can be used for detecting fake news. If you want to learn about this, you can watch my talk at the HTC conference 2021 about free speech, and then the talk I gave at the Neuchâtel conference about dispute resolution on social media from 2024, and I give some ideas of how we have been thinking about this. Okay, and the big topic now, which is the AI and dispute resolution. How can we combine AI tools with decentralized juries? Could we have AI agents as jurors, or how should the sequence work? Could we have a first instance done by AI, and if this is appealed, go to a panel of humans, or how many jurors we want, and how can we make mechanisms that don't fall to prey of biases and all of different situations that can happen with algorithms that can affect the rights of users. So this is a really, really hot topic. So welcome, guys. Applications are open for the 9th generation of the fellowship. So this is, for me, a very happy moment, because this is one, if you ask me, one of the things we did right at the very early days of the project is launching the fellowship, because this created a community of researchers, people who are doing work, and they publish this about this paper, about this topic, and then someone cites it, and then this creates another paper, and then students see it, and then they do a master thesis about that, and then the teacher reads it and then knows about Kleros, and then suggests another student to do a PhD. So this is like a social movement. This is how they start. So one of the main good ideas we had in the very early days was the fellowship. So you can now be part of this as well. So you can apply now. There's the blog post, and you can just go there. So thank you very much, and looking forward to having many great pieces of research in the future. Thank you.